Okay, so I've been falling behind on my Vlogtober goals, but I'm here. I found something as I was cleaning up my office and I thought, you know what, this is a good story to share. And so in today's video, I'm going to share how I manifested getting on the Abraham Hicks stage in 2019 in Chicago and what I learned through that manifestation process that I can pass along to you, because I don't want to just tell the story for the sake of telling a story. I want to make sure that you get something out of it. So what I found was this package that you get when you attend an Abraham Hicks event. If you're not sure who Abraham Hicks is, the best way to describe them, and it's a them, is a collection of light beings from the universe being channeled through a beautiful woman named Esther Hicks, who channels them all the time and essentially supports the collective, humanity, all that good stuff. If you know who Abraham Hicks is, then you know what a thing it is to hear those words, stand if you think it's you, and being called up onto stage and having the opportunity to have a dialogue with Abraham. So this is how I manifested it. I need to give a little bit of a backstory. But before I do, I'm actually curious. I haven't looked at what is in this envelope in a long time. So I don't actually remember what's in here. All right. What is this? So it's an order form to get the recordings. If you know anything about Abraham or you buy any of their stuff, you're able to get recordings from their events. And then this is a 2019 schedule of workshops and the best of Abraham subscription program. It's a CD. I don't even think I have a CD player anymore. So that was the little, unboxing of the Abraham Hicks Publications giveaway that you get when you attend an event. So I started listening to Abraham in 2018, so a year before I got on stage. And I found Abraham because I was so miserable in my job. Like, this all stems from me being unhappy in my career, at that company, in that position, all of that. And I was looking for some kind of motivation to listen to while I was driving into work. And I was listening to a whole bunch of different inspirational YouTube videos to like pump me up so that when I got into the office, I could endure doing work that I didn't really want to be doing. Isn't that terrible? Well, you do what you have to do. And so along the way of listening to all these different YouTube channels and inspiration, I came across someone who had mentioned that Steve Jobs had an Abraham Hicks book on his bookshelf. And I had never heard of Abraham Hicks. And I thought, you know what? If this author, I didn't know like what Abraham was. Yeah. If that author is good enough for Steve Jobs and it's sitting on his bookshelf, then I'm going to check them out. And that's exactly what I did. And I started to experience the content, listen to it. It's really what kind of uplifted me and gave me this perspective of, oh, people are getting this like divine guidance downloaded to them. And Abraham is flowing through this woman named Esther. And how did she do this? And how did that come to be? And I started kind of looking into all this stuff about, spirits and spirituality and channeling. And it's actually what kind of opened up my eyes to this whole world. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So as I'm watching these videos of people going on stage, I'm looking at this going, I want to get on stage. Like, I want this experience. I want to talk to Abraham. And so I set that intention and I thought, you know what? The right event is going to present itself to me. The right one is going to kind of call out to me. I don't know which one. I don't want to force it. I don't want to overthink it. I'm just going to wait until the right one calls out to me. And then I saw that there was going to be an event in 2019. I saw Chicago around my birthday. And I thought, that's perfect. My birthday, I always feel like obviously it's, special to me and good things happen around my birthday. And Chicago, so I live near Toronto. Chicago was very doable in terms of a flight. And I thought that's the one that I'm going to. And so it presented itself, booked the flights, got my husband on board. He knew I was listening to Abraham and he was kind of like, okay, yeah, let's see. Like I'm all for, positive messages. I'll attend this thing with you. And so before I left, I asked my kids. So this is part of the manifestation process. I asked my kids, each one of them, if you could ask the universe one question, what would it be? And each one of them answered. My daughter was asking about, best friends and friendships and like, how do you find a best friend, that type of thing. And then my son, who was a lot younger, asked if, megalodons are real in the ocean, so, naturally. And the entire journey that got me, from leaving my house to attending that workshop that morning, I was just high vibe. I did not let a negative thought into my mind. I just kept myself very happy. I kept showing gratitude. I kept saying things like, thank you for me getting on stage. Thank you for me being at this event. Thank you for me meeting all these amazing people. I was just in such a place of gratitude because I was so happy to be there. And now when I look back, what led to me actually getting on stage, and I'll talk about what that feeling was in just a minute. What led to me getting on stage was this absolute deep, unwavering knowing that I was going to get onto stage with Abraham Hicks. It was just like something deep inside of me, these whispers coming to me like, you're going to get to meet Abraham. Like, don't doubt it, don't question it. That is in your or on your path and it's going to happen. So it's like just this deep knowing, and I trusted it. I didn't question it. I didn't have any what ifs. I was just like, yes, I'm going to be on stage and this is the event that I'm going to do it. And that's that. It's like very kind of nonchalant, matter of fact, deep knowing. The other one was that I had set the intention with my kids, with that deep knowing, asking them what they wanted to know, and then knowing that I was going to have an opportunity to ask Abraham my children's questions. And it was that intention setting that was part of the manifestation process. The last part was being in that high vibe state. If you want to manifest something positive, you have to be in that vibrational state of that positive thing that you want. And meeting Abraham, I mean, Abraham is a high vibrational energy, and I wanted to be having an exchange with them. And so that was part of what I felt got me onto that stage, was being in this very grateful, abundant feeling. And so those three things I feel like led to that manifestation. But I want to explain what it feels like when Abraham says, stand if you know it's you, because that was a magical moment. I wish I could bottle it up. So what ended up happening, we were after the break and there was maybe 2 or 3 more slots left to get up onto stage. And again, if you don't know Abraham, what happens is there's a room full of like 1,000 people and she's looking, Esther, but it's Abraham, is looking around the room trying to decide who is the next person that gets to come onto stage and have a one-to-one dialogue with her. And so what ends up happening is like she'll kind of look in the vicinity, she'll look in a certain location in the room and go, stand if you think it's you. And so when you look at this on video, you're thinking like, how are you supposed to know if it's you? What does that even feel like? But you see people just kind of pop up and walk over to the stage and, have a dialogue with her. And so what happened, it was just after the lunch break, or I don't know, like bathroom break. And it was not a lunch break. And I'm thinking, okay, my turn is coming up. Somebody else got picked. And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's the moment when a little bit of doubt started creeping into my mind. I thought, well, if there's only time for 2 more people to go up onto stage. What happens if it doesn't actually work out and it's me? And then quickly that thought got replaced by, no, you have to make this happen. You're meant to be on stage at this event. This is part of your path. And so the next one, it was about to happen where she's looking around the room trying to decide who it is. And I thought, oh, she's looking in my direction. Her eyes are going this way. And I thought it's about to happen. And then she changes her direction and starts looking at the other end of the room. And inside of me, in my mind, and it's not even like I was forcing these words or these thoughts. I was thinking, no, this is my turn. I came here for this. And it was all like these very, very quick thoughts where it was like, no, 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 it's me. And I could feel this energy growing inside of me. And then she turned right back into my direction, looked kind of in my vicinity and said, stand if you think it's you. And without even hesitation, it's like something embodied me and made me jump up. And before I knew it, I was on my feet. My heart was pounding with excitement. And I was walking over, trying to seem like I'm calm, walking over to the stage and putting myself into that chair. And I have 2 pictures that I'll share on the screen so that you can see that I'm on stage with Abraham. They're not the best pictures, but I had not given my husband any instructions on make sure you get pictures of this to document this because I'm going to be sharing it. This was solely for me. So I'm sitting there and I cannot catch my breath. My heart is just pounding. I'm out of breath because I'm just so, so excited. So I even said to her, I put my hand up like, 1 second kind of thing. And I said, I just need to catch my breath. And I sat there and I took, I think it was 1 or 2 deep breaths. And then I looked at her and I started asking my questions. I definitely asked about the best friend thing for my daughter and the megalodon thing for my son. She said that for my daughter, be the best friend that you want to have, and then the best friends will come. And that's exactly what has shown up in my daughter's life. And then for my son, asking about if there's megalodons in the ocean, she said there's even more fantastic things in the ocean. He wasn't really satisfied with that answer, but maybe there's just some things that humans aren't meant to know right now. So the moral of this story is it's easy to manifest the big things when the emotion is not attached to it. It's like just this deep knowing that was very nonchalant, staying high vibe about it and not letting any thoughts of doubt or negativity creep in while you're thinking of this thing coming to fruition in your life. And then the other one was setting that intention of this is what's going to show up in my life. And funny enough, the topic of that seminar workshop was segment intending. And segment intending, just quickly, because it might serve you and hearing this now, maybe this is meant to come through, is that it kind of goes beyond intention setting, where you're not just setting this big intention that's kind of like, I want to save money, I want to save $30,000, I want to go on this trip. Like, it's not the big intentions, it's the very, very small one. So segment is anytime some kind of circumstance changes in your life. So it's like something small, something like it's like a little segment. You can consider that in your day. This part of the segment is I'm driving. This part of the segment, I'm having a meeting. This part of the segment, I'm sending an email. So those would be considered segments. You would then intend. So set your intention for that segment. For instance, when you're getting in the car to go for a drive, I intend for this to be a safe, fun, enjoyable, quick, uneventful drive, right? We want it boring, but quick. If you are sending an email, I intend for this email to be received in the highest light and for it to benefit me and everyone that it's intended to benefit. If you are having a meeting with somebody, I intend for this meeting to go well and for my message to be received and for there to be clear communication between us and for it to result in my highest and best good and the highest and best good of all. So things like that, where you're just setting little intentions with each segment of your day. It sounds exhausting, but once you get into the practice of it, you're essentially saying a prayer, really is what it is. You're saying a prayer for every part of your day for how you want it to go. Because if you don't set the intention, then the universe is just going to make that decision for you. So you might as well make it yourself. Right, I hope you enjoyed this video and my story, and I will see you in the next one.